All right, so showcase build of the day is the Imp Parade. So we're going to be doing, Shardtail Queen, and basically you either go 2 Imp Parade, 1 Imperialist, or you go 3 Imp Parade, and it depends on what you get. Yeah, the door sinks. Basically, the whole goal with Imp Parade is you get scaling via the fledgling imps. Ideally, you get a Transcend Imp with Endless. And the most important part, so you could basically run this with any units. That's the nice thing, is that you have a lot of flexibility because your scaling comes just from the fledgling imps. But the biggest problem with the build is how do you get rid of your imps? You want to scale, but you don't have, you're not gonna have infinite capacity. You need to find ways to get rid of your imps. You can always chump block with them. That's one way. But especially if you're going to be scaling up armor, you need to find a way to kill off imps and bring them back, and kill them off and bring them back. Especially if you end up with something like Transcend Imp, you need to have a consistent way of killing off Transcend Imp. So the key here is, how am I going to kill off my imps? Imperialist 1 does that. So that's 2 and 1. So you get the fledgling imp, and then you can kill off all the imps on the floor. The only problem with Imperialist is that only kills off imps on the floor with your champion. And normally you want a 2-floor setup. You want a floor with a Shardtail Queen, and you want a floor with your main damage dealers. And so here, then, we look at our Hellhorn spells, and let's look at the ones that are auto kills. So the auto kills are Important Work, and we'll just type Imp in here. Important Work and Imp-Pressive. So these are your 2 main ways of auto killing your imps. The advantage is that both of them are fantastic with holdover, especially because you guarantee get at least 1 imp per turn. So you'll always have a target for them, and they're both good in their own right. So Impressive, you can it's attuned, so you can add, for example, 2 damage stones, or a damage stone holdover probably is better. And then you have 100 damage spell every single turn. Important Work obviously is also really great with holdover. It replaces itself and gives you 2 extra ember. Other things you want. Impalate is insane because it scales based on how many imps you're getting per turn. So if you have Imp Parade 3 and you're getting 2 imps per turn, it's increasing by 30 damage every single turn. So after, let's say, 5 turns, you've already added 150 damage to your Impalate. So another really fantastic card to add. Then what else do you want? So in terms of units, the main unit that you want is Deranged Brute. Deranged Brute will help all of the scaling on all of the imps, or of your rage imps, right? So as long as you have a Deranged Brute, your imps, your fledgling imps end up doing way more, or you get way more value out of them. Other things that you want, I would recommend getting a Pyre Chomper, at least 1 if you can. The advantage with Pyre Chomper is, especially if you get a Transcend Imp or if you get Endless on it, then you don't have any Ember problems for the rest of the run. Transcend Imp is one of the best cards, obviously, to have with this deck because you're getting additional summons every turn from the Imp Parade, and then Transcend Imp takes advantage of all of those summons. You can get Consumer of Crowns in the build. It's not mandatory, but of course it's always a good choice because it already starts off with a lot of damage, and then you can scale it even more. One thing, again, you need to be cautious about is Welder Helpers are always good, and it's usually good to get at least 1 or 2 of them to take advantage of Transcend Imp. But getting a lot of them can become difficult because they're hard to kill off. If you put them in the back line, you need to have ways of targeting the back line to kill them. If you put them in the front line, they're going to put armor on themselves. I would say getting 1 or 2 Welder Helpers is not necessary, but you need to find a way to get at least 1 Welder Helper to play off Transcend Imp, but then you need to find a way to consistently kill them off. And that becomes the balance. It's not just about getting all the imps, it's about making sure you can kill off imps at the same rate that you're getting them so that you can keep playing them over and over and over and over again. If you have Endless, your main targets are Fledgling Imp, Pyre Chomper, and Transcend Imp. As far as the other imps, Imp Scholar, it's really dependent on whether you have critical consume spells. If you don't have a critical consume spell, it's not as good, of course. But as long as you have some type of spell that you want to bring back that's getting consumed, it's definitely worth it. And there are some combos with Imp Scholar that work really well to get infinites. You can play an Imp Scholar to bring back something like an Awoken's Rail Spike, and then play the Awoken's Rail Spike, drawing back into your Imp Scholar, play it again. So there are some infinite combos you can do with Imp Scholar, but I tend to not really worry about those too much. But yeah, so again, just to kind of reiterate, you're scaling based off of Fledgling Imp and Transcend Imp. You could do Imp Scholar for Imp in a Box, but again, the biggest issue you have is, can you kill off your imps fast enough? And if you're getting that many imps every turn, it can be difficult to kill them all off. And you don't want to have, you never want to get in the situation where you have like a Fledgling Imp or a Transcend Imp that you want to play and no room for it. So you always have to try to balance out imp killing with imp generation. And Imp in a Box is of course good, but I would only recommend Imp in a Box if you have a Transcend Imp to take advantage of these summons. Otherwise, it's like, it's okay, but it's not a critical card. Other things you want. So apart from the Imp synergies, any type of additional scaling is going to be your friend here. So things like Branding Right's always good. The Branding Right's also good because it doubles as a way to kill off your imps. But in general, it's a good way to scale up your front line non-imp unit. Last Stand is really good. So you keep Last Stand until after you've used a bunch of your Fledgling imps to scale up the rage. Then you double the rage. Reinforce, same thing. You're playing a lot of imps to increase armor, and then you double that armor. If you have a lot of armor, One Horn's Tome becomes very valuable because you can play it on a unit with a lot of armor and they're still not going to die. I would avoid, for the most part, any type of floor manipulation. It's pretty bad with imps because they summon effect, right? So if you're trying to overstack a floor, you can no longer play imps on that floor. And playing an imp and then moving it onto that floor is obviously not very valuable. So with this particular build, I tend to not take any floor manipulation. So that would be Hidden Passage, Tiresome Climb, or any of your secondary clan floor movement spells. I would avoid them. Having extra rage. Oh, I guess Dark Deal in the same way as Branding Right is a good way to kill off imps, and it's also a good way to scale. So I would say those two are pretty good. You don't typically need damage spells because you have them with your imps. The exception is that you could take a Horn Break to kill off imps if you wanted. And the nice thing about Horn Break is that it would kill the imps it would kill them with through armor, which is pretty good. Then when it comes to relics, main relics that you want are Hell's Banners. You're getting so many imps per turn. Hell's Banners allows you to take advantage of the fact that you're gaining Ember off of those imp plays. Forever Flame allows you to play imps on any floor for free. So these are obviously going to be really good. Queen's Tail clearly is fantastic with this setup because you're playing an imp and then it draws and replaces itself. Ashen of the Fallen is also huge synergies with this deck because all the summon triggers then double. Apart from that, rage-oriented stuff. So Collection of Tales, Resonant Shard, both improving your rage generation. Railhammer. I mean, basically most of the basic Hellhorned ones are going to be good, but the top two I would say are Ashes of the Fallen and Queen's Tail, followed closely by Collection of Tales and Resonant Shard. And apart from that, everything else is just okay. Impsicle can be dangerous, again, for the same reason I mentioned before, that if you can't play all of your imps as fast as you're killing them, could be a real problem. When it comes to secondary clans, really, so you don't need anything from the secondary clans, but there are some things that are quite good. Let's start with Awoken. With Awoken, let me see. The biggest things that you want are... it's really more AoE, I would say, more than anything else. And then, apart from that, the biggest problem with Awoken is you don't really have a good way to kill off imps. So then it's more about scaling your main unit. The healing doesn't help that much because you typically have enough health with all of the armor that you're getting. So then anything that draws is going to be good, and Razor Sharp Edge can be good because it is a way to kill off imps as well. But otherwise, it's typically, I would say, not... This is probably the worst combo to put with this build, only because there's not really consistent ways to kill off imps. The one exception is the Awoken Rail Spike combo with the Imp Scholar. That combo is really good. It's an infinite combo that you can do, where you play the Imp Scholar, it has endless, use Awoken's Rail Spike, or you use Awoken's Rail Spike to draw something that kills the imp, or no, sorry, you kill the imp, you play it, get Awoken's Rail Spike, kill the imp off, play Awoken's Rail Spike to get the imp and the imp killer back, play it again, and so on and so on. You can do that infinitely, but it's not always the best. But yeah, so really it's, as I said, it's not the best combo, but it can work because in the end, it is self-sustaining. You can do everything within Hellhorn. You don't need a secondary clan. Stygian Guard is pretty good in that it has a lot of good units that take advantage of the rage and of the kind of infinite combo potential here. So you really want incanters. Incanters tend to be really good in general with this kind of infinite combo setup, or not infinite combo, but this kind of imp, kill an imp, imp, kill an imp. You're getting a lot of spells out there. Typically you have a lot of Ember with this build, so then you can take advantage of that to scale up your incanters. The best ones would be to the 2 Sirens, but in a pinch you can also do Guard of the Unnamed and even some of the totems as well. In addition, let's see, you want to avoid daze. So Frenzied Swarm is not so good. You want actually your imps to die, so dazing isn't particularly great here. Apart from that, yeah, same with sap. You kind of want to avoid sap. Anything that's going to prevent your imps from dying, you want to avoid. And typically Frostbite doesn't pair well with this build because you end up playing so many imps. You're scaling via the rage. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to get Frostbite. So really it's your incanters, and then any type of low-cost spells are going to be really good for you. Spike of the Stygian tends to be pretty good on just the boss, the flying bosses, or on the bosses in general. So you could get Permafrost on Spike of the Stygian and then wait until the end, and you'll typically get a lot of Ember with this build, so then you can play this for a huge Ember onto the boss. Moving on to Umbra. Umbra's a little bit weird. You want to avoid gorging with this build. So instead, you want units that aren't necessarily going to rely on gorging. Things like, I mean, Shadow Siege typically can be played with this build because you get lots of Ember. The only issue here is that you need to make sure you have enough capacity, but Ember cost usually is not so big of an issue with Shadow Siege, with this Imp Parade build. So you can play Shadow Siege out. Also, with a lot of the Ember, you can get stuff like Excavation Eruption. Trample Stone becomes really good because you have units that have a lot of rage, and then that rage you can use with Trample to kill off multiple units. Cave-In and not Cave-In, Crucible Extension and Space Prism are amazing with this build because one of the big problems you need, or one of the big problems you have, is not enough space. Those address both of the space issues. Ember Drain can work, so the Ember Drain package can work with this build. because your imps end up being free on the floor that you play them with the queen. And if you get a important work on holdover, then you can generate. It's one of the ways to generate Ember pretty consistently. You just got to be cautious, because if you have Ember Drains out and you can't play your imps, then they end up sticking in your deck forever, and they clog up your deck, and they make it more difficult even for future turns. So you can do Ember Drain, but you just need to make sure before you start going heavy into Ember Drain, you need to have a way to generate Ember. And important work is the best one, but having Perils of Production also works. And last, you have Melting Remnant. I would say Melting Remnant is the best one to pair with this build. The main reason is the reforms. So you can reform your imps over and over again, bring them back, then they die automatically. And having Burnout 1, Burnout 2 on imps is fantastic, because that is one of the ways you can get rid of them. So things like Sacred Wicks becomes really good. Where is it? Moldeds become pretty good. Both of your Barons, any type of harvest. So Barons, the Sludge are amazing with this build, because they scale up so much off of all of your imps dying over and over and over again. And that would be my main focus here. So Swimming Blade is another way to get rid of your imps and to scale. So yeah, I would say clearly you want Melting Remnant as your secondary, but the other ones can all work, because the nice thing about this build is it's self-sustaining. You can play pure Hellhorned, not rely on your secondary clan at all, and still win, which is not the same of all builds. Some builds require some support from your secondary clan. This one does not, but if you happen to get Melting Remnant, you'll be happy. So with that, let's actually jump into the build. And I think we might only have time for one showcase now, but we will try one later. We're going to do it on Covenant 25. We're going to do it with Random as the secondary. And let's go. And we're going to hope for Imp Parade. Very early, we got also Welder Helpers right from the start. Imp Parade, fantastic. We don't want days, as I mentioned. We want units to be able to die. Health 3 is actually not good. We want to be able to kill off imps. So I'm going to actually not take either of them, and we're going to go with the 25 coins. Because again, we don't want days. We want to be able to kill off the imps, and typically I play the queen on the top floor or middle floor. So having the days there is not really. It's kind of anti-synergistic. And yeah, we'll go for a unit draft here. First few rounds can be a little bit tricky, because you're not getting fledgling imps, you're getting the implings. But we should still be totally fine here. We'll use this to kill off the front unit. We can get a Train Steward behind. No, Train Steward will just die. We can put a Train Steward here, get some rage out there, and we'll keep this imp for later. The other nice thing is this build gets collectors really easily because of the summon effect on Queen's Implings, which is always nice. We can put you up front to kill this. And again, you can already see how are we going to kill off this Impling is the thing we're going to need to sort out very quickly. Let's just burst these guys down and get a drag in there. So this is not the ideal setup here, but we can do a really big Train Steward followed by a much smaller Train Steward, get a drag out here, and we'll keep this Queen's Impling for now. We will be using them to chump block later on for the Queen. I think we want to do it like this. And another one guarantees the kill. We can get an Entombed Explosive. We get a Welder Helper in there. I don't want to put a Dreg in there, so we're going to just leave it at that for now. And let's see if we can get enough damage down. One more Imp gives us, let's see, gives us an extra Does it even give us any extra damage? Let's see how the numbers are working out here. 14. So they're both hitting to kill this, and then they're just outright killing her. So one of these will actually increase the damage by 30. Let's get you up here. We only need to do... Oh, literally any imp will kill. Okay, we're good. We just need to do 10 damage. So, 10 damage. So pretty solid first fight, not amazing. Again, I don't want any Ascends, I don't want Ritual of Battle, and even the Welder Helper, we already have 2, we don't need any more, so we're going to skip here. Reform would be good. I don't really think Draft is what we want, because we have no way to reform. I think we skip for now. And what unit do we get? Yeah, Harvest. We'll take a Harvest Tycoon. Harvest Tycoon is great. We can just keep putting imps in front and collecting coins. That'll help us with our upgrades. And now ideally, I think we start with unit upgrades. We definitely want to get the Hellhorn banner because we want to try to get Brute. We did not get it. And I don't think we want either of these. Neither of them are particularly great for this scaling that we need. Getting multi-strike on the Wickless Tycoon is actually really good. Getting plus 25 health on him as well seems also quite good. And let's get Burnout now onto a Welder Helper. That helps us with making sure that they're going to die. We can play him in the back and he still dies, which is really good. That means we can get armor on either the Queen or the Harvest Tycoon and not have to worry about it surviving. We will take spikes. This should also be just fine. And getting that Harvest Tycoon early is going to be really good. It's going to help us out with a lot of our upgrade costs. So again, we're going to play Queen on the second floor. Wickless Tycoon on the bottom floor. We can get both an Impling and a Drag. We'll keep the other Drag for now. So we need to do one up here to get the Collector. One down here. Or you know what, let's just put a Train Steward here to block most of the damage and kill that front unit. We can get, although we would really like to kill this unit as well. Maybe we just go half measure, we put a Drag here, and we get you in there. Yeah, that seems okay. Okay, we actually want you... Oh wait, let's kill the front. Get 25 damage up there. Then this will kill that unit. We are going to take, we're going to get 2 garbage in our deck. And with the chance that we can draw the Welder Helpers, I'm going to hope that works out for us. We'll put the Train Steward up here. Okay. We got 1 Welder Helper. We can actually put it in the front. Give you Rage. Queen's Impling. Welder Helper. 148 damage is pretty good, and we're killing both of them off, and we don't play the Train Steward. Not having any backline access is a little bit concerning, but I think we should still be just fine. Let's get this Welder Helper up front. That should be enough to kill you. Yep, perfect. So we ended up getting quite a lot of coins, and then on top of that we get the coins from winning. So we're already at back to 250 coins. There is a Fledgling Imp, which would be really good to get Endless on. I think we take it. We don't have any right now, and definitely that molded. That's what we wanted. Perfect. So now, even if we don't get Endless, we can start molding back imps, which helps out a lot. We don't need to duplicate. We can go for another Deranged Brute. Fantastic. That's exactly what we want. And then we'll take Capacity so we can fit the Deranged Brute and the Wickless Tycoon on the same floor. We want to remove minus cost from that. We don't need double stack on anything. And Permafrost. Don't think so. I think we just keep it like this. And from the concealed cavern, we get an Umbra pick. Just kidding, we get nothing. I guess we could have taken the double stack on the rage. Would not have been awful. But now we actually can get rage, which is good. We're going to do it with a deranged brute and the queen on the same floor, and then the Wickless Tycoon on a solo floor, I think. We'll see where the... yeah, I think we do it like this. So we get you up here. You are the burnout, which is fantastic. Get you armor, block a hit here. Excellent. So we're actually net gaining 2 ember cost, and we're killing everything. So we're gonna get a lot of coins out of this. That's 25 coins. We can get Impling. I don't think we want to play Deranged Brute. I think it's too dangerous. We'll play Deranged Brute up here. And we'll get double dregs. And we can put a Train Steward here. Cool. Give you Rage. Oh wait, no, we should have given Rage up here. That was a mistake. Let's get 1 Impling. 1 Impling here. 2 of them here allows us to kill the front unit. 1 Impling in the back. Doesn't really matter. We'll just put it out there anyway, though. But we need to play the Rage up on the top floor. That was a mistake last time. Drag. Queen's Impling. Queen's Impling up here. Allows us to reduce damage quite a lot. We can put 2 Train Stewards in there. One of them will die right away. We don't really care about her getting armor. We just want to get rid of the Train Stewards out of our deck. This is the Welder Helper that's difficult to kill off. In fact, it's not even difficult, it's impossible. So let's play it up here instead, I think. Get you in there, a Dreg, and another Imp. We want the Rage Imp up here. Get you here. Good. It's looking really solid. We can bring back probably a Rage Imp. Let's play you out here first. Play the Rage Imp. That's quite a bit of damage. The question is, are we going to have enough damage to kill up here? And I'm not 100% sure. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at least 120 damage. It's going to be tight. It's going to be really tight here. Luckily, we get the reform every turn now. We need to probably reform the Fledgling Imp. But I'm wondering if we actually play it... Whoa, hold on. Sorry about that. There we go. Come back to that. There we go. Here we go. So I think we then, if we play the Fledgling Imp here, this actually does get a lot of rage, and then we can play it again at the top, which is kind of what we want to do here. He'll take 2 hits. 66. Yeah. Then we play the Fledgling Imp again at the top here. Please draw the molded. Thank you. And this will add 2 more hits. So actually 3 hits on the Fledgling Imp, plus giving them all rage. That's almost enough to kill her. She'll have 60 health left. 3 hits, we're gonna survive. We'll have 19 health left. Okay. So that was the hardest part of this run. Now Spike of the Hellhorn is great. I think we have enough unit-wise. I don't think we need the Branded Warrior here. Let's skip. Or we could get a Paraffin Thug on a second floor. No, it's not necessary. I think we just keep it like this. And then we definitely want capacity. And we're going to take capacity both times. The draw, while valuable, we're going to have enough units to play every turn. We're generating units, so we don't really need to focus on unit upgrades. Or sorry, on increasing draw, because we're going to have enough cards. And in terms of Ember, we don't really need to get Ember either. We skip, and we can get multi-strike on the Deranged Brute. I think getting health on the Deranged Brute also makes a lot of sense. Now we're going for Endless. We didn't get it. We're not going to get Large Stone on anything. So then let's just skip for now. And added a Fledgling Imp. Now our scaling is going to be really nuts, because we're going to get Rage on the Deranged Brute and the Wickless Tycoon. They both have decent enough health, I think. Plus we can get Spike of the Hellhorn rolling. Let's get rid of some Train Stewards. Maybe even a third one. So a double stack on Spike of the Hellhorn would be really nice. And then we still don't have a way to generate Ember to scale it, but for now I think we're okay. And the armor should be fine. We're going to do so much damage with these two units by the end. And we could even play on the middle floor if we need to. Do we need to? That's a good question. Well, we're not going to play on the middle floor now. That doesn't make a lot of sense. We can do... So we get you in there, and I think it's the Entombed Explosive first. And we can give you armor, and then you just die. Only take 1 damage on our units, and we killed off the first 2. Perfect. We can Fledgling Imp. We can Queen's Imp here. And now the question is, what do we prioritize? Actually, you know what? We don't even get a choice. Let's give you the Rage. And we'll bring back, I think, the Entombed Explosive over the Welder Helper. Yeah, this allows us to kill almost everything on that floor. We're going to miss out on the Collector, unfortunately. There we go. There's another Fledgling Imp. Let's go... Dreg, Fledgling Imp. The Dreg can stick around for a little bit. We'll get you in there and just toss you guys in there. Another Fledgling Imp. And this is scaling very nicely. We already have 60 by 2. This is the Welder Helper we can't kill off. Let's just hit you down there. And you see, even now, we don't have a good way to get rid of all of our imps, and so we're starting to see all of our space get filled up with imps. Play you out. Just get you guys in there, and we'll get you some armor. We should have no problems killing the boss here. Yeah, we have so much stats right now. Even better. Cool. So you can see already, all you need is a couple units to scale with, and your imps basically scale up on their own. Pyre Chomper. There is the opportunity for some increased Ember. Remnant Host is really good for getting us more coins, but I think we skip. We don't need a second reform. I'd rather get holdover on the molded that we have. And once we play out all of our units, actually our deck becomes extremely thin. Do we want to duplicate anything? We could duplicate and remove. Or we should go for Endless still. If we can get Endless, yes, we want Endless on probably this Welder Helper, since it already has the Burnout. Alternatively, we get it on the Fledgling Imp. And then give it Burnout. Let's see if we can do that. We don't need anything else there. There's the Burnout. And what do we get from Concealed Cavern? Artifact. Please. Summon abilities. That's exactly what I mentioned. So we got exactly the artifact we needed. I think it's, I would say It's probably the best artifact. It might even be better than the what's it called? The Queen's. Oops. Queen's Tail. Should be fine. Multi-strike isn't an issue for us. We might take a little bit of damage onto the Brute. Okay, luckily everything points to playing on the second floor and third floor. Just die. We could have put him on the second floor, actually. That might have been better. Now we get the Brute. We get an Impling. We get a Welder Helper. No, we just Impling again. We'll play you up here. We don't need the Ember yet, so we'll wait till later. Oh, this is a little bit annoying. We can make sure some of them are dying off, though. And let's continue to grow you. Get a bunch of units out there that can just die. How are we doing up there? Not great. We're going to take a lot of pyre damage. Are we dead? We're dead. Okay, hold on. Go back. We gotta play that differently. We needed to not kill off all of the imps there. Or not kill off, yeah, we needed to not kill off everything there. So, get you up here, get you here, play you here. Deranged Brute. Excuse me. Welder Helper. Queen's Impling. That's perfect. That's exactly what we needed. And we can leave it like that. Now we can rage. And if we play you, you are just as good as an Entombed Explosive right now. And it reduces damage. Yeah, this does just as much because then we're able to kill, and then you hit 80. Which is good. We can put you up here to do more damage. Let's just let them die. Get rid of them. There we go. So top floor is already killing. I think we still want to, you know, let's do it like this still. One. Maybe we need to put one of them out here to make sure that we don't take any damage onto the Deranged Brute. We can put another Rage Imp up here. And yeah, we can get a Train Steward up there as well. Cool. And now we're good. Apart from that massive mistake that we made, this is going pretty smooth. So let's get you back out there. This would prevent one hit. Or do we just stack the rage? That would only prevent 10. So that would be 1 dead and then 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is still better. Let's get you up here. Drag down here, and yeah, we can do it like this. Just give you a little bit more rage. I think in terms of damage, we're already going to be fine. We just need to find a way to prevent this guy from killing us. Let's do another Rage Imp. Rage Imp. Rage Imp. Hit ya. Hit ya. And Rage Imp. Alright, how are we doing? Not particularly great so far. What if we put you up front? Now you're dying. Excellent. We probably actually shouldn't even played that because we could have gotten the... I guess it doesn't matter. We get the coins are the coins, so we're good. We still would need some way of proactive... Oh, wow. Rage does not decay. Okay. Impalate is really good. And I think we skip here. So now we've got a huge damage spell we can play out. That's going to continue to scale the longer that the fight goes. I kind of like removal and the chance to get some trinkets. I don't think we need to necessarily increase our spells potency right now. Let's get rid of a Train Steward and an Impling. No, get rid of the Dregs. They're pretty bad. Consume Crown is really good. But we could go better here. I don't think we want Resin Block. I think it's Consumed Crown. It's really good on the multi-strikers. The other nice thing is that we are against Seraph the Patient, which is great because we can chump blocks so easily compared to a lot of the other builds. I think it's... Let's take Consume Crown. It's the best of the options we had. I didn't want to re-roll. We have +1 to spells and Weight of Contrition. Weight of Contrition is going to be a little bit annoying just because of the all the garbage we're going to get in our deck. Okay. Play you up top. Hit you for 20. Block another hit. And what are you? Just hit him for 9. Or hit Arcus for 9. Okay, Wickless Tycoon. This is not exactly the Welder Helper that we want. Let's play this out. And then I wonder if we play the Welder Helper here to keep it alive for now. No, if we keep it alive, let's instead do it like this. Even though we just permanently lose a spot, I think it's still okay. We're gonna get 1 garbage in our deck. Okay. Interesting. 2 of these is enough to kill almost everything. We certainly want you in there, and then you up front to block the hit. That kills everything here. And since we can, let's play another one up front. Somehow it's still not dying. I think I needed to play it in the back, but it's fine. Take 9 damage. And this is excellent. We can do 1, 2. Now we have plenty of damage. Are you spells? No, you're Weight of Contrition. Let's bring back... What do we want to bring back? Probably a Rage Imp. Get Rage rolling here. We can even Queen's Imp. And then Impalate for 165. We get the infinite Imps back. Cool. Spells. Get you out here, get you in here, and doesn't really matter. We'll keep it in hand for now. We're gonna get fewer and fewer cards, and eventually we'll be able to just play the Pyre Chomper ideally at the same time as the Spike of the Hellhorned. What are you doing? Adding Weight of Contrition? Let's get you out here and then blast you for 195. We already got him to half health. Perfect, this is the turn we wanted to do this, so we get you here, you here. You are incant. And yeah, double, that's awesome. Give you all the damage. We can also play out another Rage Imp to increase their damage, and we're good. We're gonna kill on the bottom floor. Solid. So, what do we want? We still want a way to kill off imps, but, ooh, last stand. Yes. And still more capacity, I think. Being able to fit more imps is always going to be good. Although, are we going to have issues with cost? No, we'll be fine. As long as we can get Endless on the Pyre Chomper, or just get Holdover on our Molded, we should be fine. So with that in mind, let's go for the Holdover. Let's double stack the Spike of the Hellhorn. Makes a lot of sense. We can minus the cost of the Last Stand. Minus the cost of probably Impalate. And I think we want Permafrost on the Spike of the Hellhorn. This is looking really solid. Let's get rid of another Drag. What do we have from the Caverns? Monster Rail Spike on a Drag. Makes a lot of sense. And now we can get a Welder Helper there as well. The biggest problem right now, and maybe we then need to pivot. Do we get Rally instead? Because we don't have a way of killing off these Welder Helpers that we're drawing. So it's the question of, do we think we're going to get a way to kill off Welder Helpers in the next draw or not? Rally's also pretty good though. I think we go for it, and we, for now, we can dump them onto the middle floor, and then ideally we get some way of killing them off later. So ideally we get right now, right at the beginning, a Queen's Imp. We did not, so we're just going to take a bunch of pyre damage, 30 pyre damage to start, which is not great, but that's life. Sometimes you just take a bunch of pyre damage. This may seem strange. I think we go Tycoon, Drag, Welder Helper. We get the Queen up here. The Queen's going to take 15 damage. But this allows us to kill off most everything, which is pretty important. Get you in there. We are not going to have enough damage. This is a problem. This is a huge problem, actually. You know what we're going to do? We're going to swap. We're going to swap the floors. Should have thought about that, actually, at the beginning. We need the Rage right away. We need the Scaling right away. So we're going to put Queen's Imp here, Wickless Tycoon here. Welder Helper. Drag. That gives us the imps we need. So you're going to come up here. You're going to come up here. Get rid of you. We can also put a Drag. Big Drag is coming here. Along with really making this Welder Helper huge. We are getting all the garbage. You have to come out. Impalate on you. And keep growing this Welder Helper. 1, 2. Cool. Now we're starting to not get so much garbage in the deck, which is good. Get you out here again. Give you even more rage. Keep stacking you. We can also get one of you in there. Now you're almost dying. I think we live with the 3 damage on our unit. Ugh, getting all the garbage is really bad. Okay, fantastic. We get a Pyre Chomper. That's going to help out a lot. We can actually play out all of our stuff now. Fledgling Imp. And Entombed Explosive. And then Spike of the Hellhorn on you. And we don't play these guys out yet. There we go. Bring back one of the... bring back Pyre Chomper. We can get you in there, get you up front again. I think we're still gonna be fine, but that was scary. That was really scary. Double Fledgling Imps to give us all the damage. Should not have done that. We're gonna take 3 damage for no reason. Impalate you. We can bring back this Welder Helper to get armor. Fledgling Imp, double their rage, we're good. First hit and he dies. Cool. Alright, so apart from totally screwing up the very first... oh, there we go. Important work. Okay, so now we're fine. That's all we needed. We needed a way to kill off the imps consistently. And I will duplicate it if we get holdover on it. Which we will do. So we... Oh, I didn't go the right way to duplicate. My mistake. Let's get rid of the 2 drags. Please get holdover. Holdover. Thank you. And we can -1 again on Last Stand. Let's see what we get for relics. Rage. Fantastic. And you know what? This daze might actually become relevant. I don't think we want it to consume. Do we have any other upgrades? We could go for a 10 damage. Yeah, sure. Alright, I think we're good. We'll scale up pretty well. The melee weakness is no concern as long as we keep an imp in the front. We have plenty of space. We have plenty of space to play out imps. Pretty good opening turn. Can play you here and can kill you. Excellent. All right, let's do Fledgling Imp, Queen's Imp, and we're gonna keep one of them around. Unfortunately, we want you there, you here as well for now. Put you up front, and we'll keep Pyre Chomper around for a minute. Okay. Excellent, that's exactly where we want this kind of stuff. Rage Imp. And Queen's Impling. Make sure all 3 of them are dying. Give you the extra rage. Impling. Lets this guy die. And I guess we just put these guys up here. Put one of them up there at least. There we go. Now we can start increasing the armor. Bring back a Welder Helper again. Increase the armor even more. get double Fledgling Imp. We can already double stack. We don't need to do that though. Let's just get you up front. And save this for now. Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's already a lot. Do we just do it now? Yeah, let's just do it now. Give them all the damage. Okay, so we start with Welder Helper. Then we import and work. Then we Welder Helper again. Let's play these guys out. We know we're playing these out. I think we are playing Pyre Chomper here, so that we can do Spike of the Hellhorn for an insane amount of rage and armor. 40 is going to be enough. And then, yeah, just really stack up the damage here. Okay. Yeah, so we want to... we want you to die. Let's import and work him. Bring back one of the imps with Burnout 1. Play a Rage Imp, Impalate, and get... Let's put you up here. We can't fit you anywhere else. Okay. So, Welder Helper, import and work, another Welder Helper with Burnout 1, Queen's Impling, and double Rage Imps. Yep. Final wave. And that's it. So we didn't even get Transcend Imp. We didn't get Endless on... Actually, we got Endless on one of our imps. And yeah, basically that's why I say it's like it's self-sustaining. We did use the Molded a little bit just to get some extra armor. It wasn't that critical. Getting the Deranged Brood is huge because it adds so much extra damage from our Rage. We got Multi-Strike on both. So I would say in general, this was a better than average. Although we did have some tricky spots earlier. Any one of the AoE... or getting an AoE imp or getting a vent would have helped out a lot there, but yeah, so that's the build. That's going to be the first of 5 Exile builds I'm going to showcase in an upcoming video.